Stop right there. You really think this guy should be touching a multi-million-dollar patient? The words explode through the pristine halls of Chicago's Northwestern Memorial Hospital, one of America's elite medical powerhouses. The camera zooms in on Dr. Eleanor Hayes, the hospital's Ice Queen director, her face twisted with disbelief. Then it cuts to Dr. Marcus Freeman, 28, 6'2", a black neurologist with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes burning with defiance. He freezes mid-step, stethoscope dangling, as every head in the corridor turns. Yeah, Marcus is used to this. The whispers, the side eyes. But today's different. Marcus isn't just any doctor. He's a Harvard-trained genius who fought his way from Chicago's South Side to the top of his game, all on a full ride. And right now, he's the only one standing between life and death for Isabella Thornton, a 26-year-old heiress to a $2 billion real estate empire, locked in a coma for 5 months after a car crash that still got the tabloids buzzing. Her penthouse-level hospital suite screams wealth. Think fresh roses, Lake Michigan views, and a family that throws around $5 million donations like pocket change. But to Marcus, Isabella's not a headline. She's a patient, and he spotted something no one else has. Tiny twitches in her eyes, heartbeats that spike when he speaks. She's in there. He knows it. But the Thorntons, led by Margaret, a 62-year-old matriarch who'd rather buy a new wing than trust a nobody like Marcus, want him gone. He's not qualified, she snaps, her diamond earrings glinting. Dr. Hayes piles on, we can't risk a mistake on a Thornton. Marcus clenches his fist, forcing a calm smile. Isabella's showing signs of waking up, he says, voice steady. Their response? A smirk. A dismissal. But here's the bombshell. What if Isabella's hearing every word? Every insult? Every doubt? And what if she's about to wake up and flip this whole hospital upside down? Stick around, because this story of one doctor's fight against prejudice and a billionaire's shocking awakening will leave you speechless. Hit that subscribe button. You won't believe what happens next. Inside room 512, the soft hum of machines fills the air, a stark contrast to the storm brewing outside. Dr. Marcus Freeman stands by Isabella Thornton's bedside, his 6'2" frame casting a shadow over the pristine hospital suite. The morning sun spills through floor-to-ceiling windows, glinting off Lake Michigan 3 miles away. Marcus, with his sharp jawline and steady hands, looks every bit the Harvard-trained neurologist he is. But it's his eyes, deep, focused, almost searching, that tell you he's not just here to check vitals. He's on a mission. Isabella, he says softly, his voice low but warm, I know you're in there. And I'm not giving up. Marcus isn't your average doctor. Born in Chicago's South Side, he grew up in a cramped apartment where dreams were as scarce as hot water. At 16, he was bussing tables, tutoring kids, and acing AP classes to land a full ride to Harvard Medical School. By 25, he'd published a groundbreaking thesis on consciousness in coma patients, earning whispers of prodigy in academic halls. Now, at 28, he's the youngest neurologist at Northwestern Memorial, and he's got a knack for seeing what others miss. Like right now, as he checks Isabella's chart, his gaze locks onto something, a slight flutter in her eyelids, a heartbeat spiking from 70 to 75 when he speaks her name. It's subtle, but to Marcus, it's a neon sign screaming hope. Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress to a $2 billion real estate empire, has been a ghost in her own life for 5 months. A car crash left her trapped in this bed, surrounded by luxury, $500 bouquets, silk linens, but no answers. Her family, the Thorntons, treat the hospital like their personal boardroom, demanding miracles while dismissing Marcus as unproven. But Marcus sees past the headlines. He leans closer, adjusting a bandage on Isabella's temple with surgical precision. You're fighting, aren't you? He murmurs, his voice a lifeline. And in that moment, through the haze of her silent prison, Isabella hears him. Her mind, locked but alive, clings to his words like a rope in a storm. Here's the thing. Marcus has been tracking these signs for weeks. Tiny eye twitches, heart rate shifts, logging them in a worn notebook he keeps in his locker. His Harvard thesis taught him that coma patients can be more aware than they seem, sometimes even processing every word around them. But when he mentioned this to Dr. Hayes, she scoffed, "Stick to routine checks, Freeman." The Thorntons? They don't even bother to listen. Yet every day, Marcus talks to Isabella about medicine, Chicago winters, even the jazz bars he loves, because he believes she's listening. And she is. Deep in her mind, Isabella's fighting to break free, desperate to tell the world what she knows. But what's she hiding? And why does it feel like Marcus is the only one who can unlock her truth? Stay with us, because this story's about to take a turn you won't see coming. Hit that like button if you're rooting for Marcus, and let's find out what happens when hope collides with prejudice. The door to room 512 swings open with a bang, shattering the quiet hum of hospital machines. Margaret Thornton, a 62-year-old matriarch draped in a $3,000 cashmere coat, storms in like she owns the place, which, with her family's $5 million donation to Northwestern Memorial's pediatric wing, she practically does. Her diamond earrings catch the Chicago sunlight streaming through the window, but her eyes are pure ice. Trailing her is Ethan Thornton, her 40-year-old son, all slicked back hair and tailored suit, his face twisted in a scowl. "What the hell is he doing here?" Margaret snaps, pointing a manicured finger at Dr. Marcus Freeman. The 6'2" neurologist freezes, his hand still on Isabella Thornton's chart, his heart pounding but his face a mask of calm. Marcus, the 28-year-old Harvard grad who fought his way from Chicago's South Side, is no stranger to this kind of heat. But today, it's personal. Isabella, the 26-year-old heiress lying motionless in her $10,000 hospital bed, is his patient, and he's the only one who's noticed her subtle signs of consciousness. "Mrs. Thornton," Marcus says, his voice steady as steel, "I'm performing a routine neurological check." Isabella's showing promising signs. Eye twitches. Heart rate spikes. She might be waking up. His words hang in the air, but Margaret's laugh is sharp enough to cut glass. "Signs? You expect us to believe you caught something the best doctors in Chicago missed?" Ethan steps forward, his $500 loafers clicking on the polished floor. "This is our sister, Freeman. We don't need some untested rookie screwing it up." Before Marcus can respond, Dr. Eleanor Hayes, the hospital's medical director, sweeps in, her clipboard clutched like a shield. "Dr. Freeman," she says, her tone dripping with condescension, "the Thorntons have every right to question your involvement. A case this high-profile demands experience, something you clearly lack." The word experience lands like a slap, and Marcus feels the weight of every eye in the room. He knows what they're not saying. A black doctor from the wrong side of town doesn't belong here. But he's been here before. Doubted, dismissed, underestimated. "With all due respect," Marcus counters, his jaw tight but his voice professional, "my Harvard training and published research on coma recovery speak for themselves. Isabella's vitals have improved by 15% since I took over." Margaret scoffs, tossing her head. "We've donated millions to this hospital. We want Dr. Brooks, someone with a track record." Ethan nods, smirking. "Get out. Freeman. Now." Hayes doesn't hesitate. "You're off the case, effective immediately." Marcus stands tall, his eyes locked on Isabella's still form. He knows she's hearing this, every insult, every jab. And as the Thorntons turn to leave, he makes a silent vow. He's not done fighting. Not for her. Not for justice. You won't believe what Marcus does next to turn this whole mess around. Smash that like button if you're Team Marcus, and stick around. This is about to get wild. The sterile glow of room 512 at Northwestern Memorial Hospital feels heavier now, the air thick with unspoken tension. Dr. Marcus Freeman stands by Isabella Thornton's bedside, his 6'2" frame steady despite the sting of being kicked off her case. The 28-year-old neurologist, with his sharp Harvard-trained mind and South Side grit, hasn't given up. His hands, still gloved, hover over Isabella's chart, but his eyes are locked on her face. Pale, motionless, yet somehow alive. The $10,000 hospital bed, surrounded by vases of $500 roses, can't hide the truth Marcus has suspected for weeks. "Isabella," he whispers, his voice a quiet anchor in the storm, "you're stronger than they know, and I'm not walking away." Marcus has seen the signs. Tiny flickers in Isabella's eyelids, a heart rate jumping from 70 to 78 beats per minute when he speaks. His Harvard thesis on coma consciousness taught him that patients like her, trapped in a 5-month silence after a car crash, can still hear, feel, even think. And Isabella? She's been listening. Through the fog of her locked-in mind, every word from the Thorntons' venomous outburst echoes like a blade. Margaret sneer. "We don't need some rookie screwing it up." Ethan smirk. "Get out, Freeman." Dr. Hayes' cold dismissal. "You're off the case." It's all seared into her, a 26-year-old heiress who's never known struggle, now raging against her own body to scream the truth. The camera shifts to Isabella's point of view, her world a blurry haze of light and shadow. Marcus' face comes into focus, his warm brown eyes searching hers. She wants to move, to grab his hand, to tell him she's here. But her limbs are lead, her voice a ghost. A single tear wells in her eye, her first sign of life in months. But Marcus doesn't see it, not yet. He leans closer, adjusting a bandage on her temple with the precision of a surgeon. "They don't get it," he says, almost to himself. "But I know you're fighting." His words hit Isabella like a lifeline, fueling a spark of defiance in her silent prison. Marcus steps back, pulling a worn notebook from his pocket. He jots down the latest signs. Eye movement at 8:47 a.m. Heart rate spike during confrontation. It's evidence, a weapon he's building against the prejudice that's trying to bury him. As he slips the notebook away, he makes a promise. "I'll be back, Isabella." "We're not done." But here's the gut punch. Isabella's not just awake in there, she's furious. She's heard every insult, every doubt, and she's ready to fight alongside the one doctor who believes in her. Don't move a muscle. This story's about to explode. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready for the truth to come out, because Marcus and Isabella are about to shake this hospital to its core. The fluorescent lights of Northwestern Memorial Hospital buzz faintly as Dr. Marcus Freeman stands in the locker room, his 6'2" frame slouched against a cold metal locker. His white coat, usually a badge of pride, hangs limp in his hand. Just hours ago, he was yanked off Isabella Thornton's case, the 26-year-old heiress whose subtle signs of consciousness only he noticed. The sting of Dr. Eleanor Hayes' words, "You're off the case, Freeman," burns deeper than the Thornton sneers. Margaret Thornton's $5 million donation and Ethan's smug, "Get out," sealed his fate. But Marcus, the 28-year-old Harvard prodigy from Chicago's South Side, isn't built to quit. Not now. Not ever. He pulls out his worn notebook, its pages crammed with notes on Isabella's eye twitches and heart rate spikes, 70 to 78 beats per minute when he spoke to her. He knows she's in there, hearing every insult hurled his way. And he knows replacing him with Dr. Leonard Brooks, a 60-year-old has-been who hasn't cracked a neurology journal since the 90s, is a disaster waiting to happen. Brooks, with his $200 ties and cozy ties to the Thorntons, is more politician than doctor. Marcus clenches his jaw, shoving the notebook into his pocket. "They can kick me out," he mutters, "but they can't stop me." That night, in his modest 800-square-foot apartment overlooking Chicago's Humboldt Park, Marcus transforms his dining table into a war room. Papers, charts, and a laptop glow under a single lamp. He dials Dr. Samuel Carter, his Harvard mentor, a 65-year-old legend whose name opens doors. "Sam, I need your help," Marcus says, voice low but fierce. "Isabella's conscious, and they're ignoring it. I've got proof, videos, notes, vitals." Carter's gravelly voice crackles through. "You're playing with fire, kid. The Thorntons own half this city." Marcus leans forward, eyes blazing. "Then let's burn their lies down." Next, he texts Lila Gwynn, a 30-year-old nurse who's seen the Thorntons' arrogance up close. Lila, sharp and fearless, slips Marcus a thumb drive with Isabella's latest scans. Data Brooks dismissed. "You're crazy, Freeman," she whispers in the hospital break room. "But I'm in." Marcus nods, his plan taking shape. Gather evidence, expose the truth, save Isabella. He's not just fighting for her life. He's fighting a system that doubts him at every turn. And he's got a secret weapon, Isabella's own awareness, locked inside her, ready to blow this wide open. Hang tight, because Marcus is about to flip the script in a way you won't believe. Smash that like button if you're with him, and let's see how this underdog turns the tables. The clock ticks past 7 p.m. in Northwestern Memorial Hospital's room 512, where the Chicago skyline glimmers 3 miles away through tinted windows. Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress trapped in a 5-month coma, lies motionless in her $10,000 hospital bed, surrounded by the faint scent of $500 orchid bouquets. But inside her mind, a storm is raging. She's awake, locked in, hearing every word, every plan, every mistake. And right now, the mistakes are piling up fast. Dr. Leonard Brooks, the 60-year-old neurologist who replaced Marcus Freeman, stands at her bedside, his $200 tie slightly askew as he scribbles on a chart. His face, lined with years of coasting on reputation, shows no trace of doubt. But it should. Ethan nods, his voice all business. Money's no object. Get it done. Margaret's eyes narrow. We want results, not excuses. The camera shifts to Isabella's point of view, her world a blurry haze of panic. She can't move, can't speak, but the terror is real. This surgery, untested and risky, could fry her brain, leaving her a shell, or worse. Brooks, more concerned with the Thorntons' checkbook than her life, misses every warning sign Marcus had meticulously logged. In the hospital break room, Lylan Gwynn, the 30-year-old nurse and Marcus' ally, overhears Brooks' plan. Her eyes widen as she texts Marcus. They're scheduling surgery. It's bad. You gotta move fast. Across town, in his 800-square-foot apartment, Marcus stares at his phone, his jaw tight. He knows what's at stake: Isabella's life, his career, and a chance to expose the truth. The Thorntons' wealth and Brooks' incompetence are a ticking time bomb, but Marcus is ready to defuse it. This isn't just a fight for a patient. It's a war against a system that buries talent under prejudice. Buckle up, because Marcus is about to unleash a plan that'll blow the lid off this hospital. Hit that like button if you're ready for justice, and don't blink. This is getting intense. It's 2 a.m., and the halls of Northwestern Memorial Hospital are a ghost town, save for the faint beep of machines echoing from room 512. Dr. Marcus Freeman, his 6'2" frame cloaked in shadows, slips past the security desk with a nod to Lylan Gwynn, the 30-year-old nurse who's got his back. His heart races, but his hands are steady as he enters Isabella Thornton's suite. The Chicago skyline, 3 miles away, twinkles through the window, casting a soft glow on the 26-year-old heiress lying still in her $10,000 bed. Marcus knows the risk. Sneaking in after being kicked off her case could end his career, but he also knows Isabella's awake in there, trapped, and facing a dangerous surgery pushed by her family's $5 million influence. Marcus pulls a penlight from his pocket, his Harvard-trained mind racing. His thesis on coma consciousness included cutting-edge techniques to reach locked-in patients, and tonight, he's betting everything on them. "Isabella," he whispers, his voice low and urgent, "if you can hear me, I need a sign." He gently presses her hand, once, twice, using a code from his research. 1 squeeze for yes, 2 for no. The room is silent, the heart monitor steady at 70 beats per minute. Then, a miracle. Isabella's fingers twitch, weak but deliberate, squeezing his hand twice. Marcus' breath catches. "You're with me," he says, a grin breaking through his tension. Her heart rate ticks up to 75, a silent cheer. He tries again, shining the penlight in patterns. Short, long, short. Another code he'd studied. "Can you stop that surgery?" 1 squeeze. "Yes." The camera zooms to Isabella's face, her eyes still but her mind ablaze. She's been hearing everything. Margaret's cold demands, Ethan's arrogance, Dr. Brooks' clueless plan to crack open her skull. And Marcus, the Southside kid who fought for a Harvard degree, is her only lifeline. "We're in this together," he says, his voice fierce with resolve. "I'm building a case to stop them, but I need you to keep fighting." Lila slips in, handing Marcus a thumb drive with Isabella's latest scans. Proof Brooks ignored. "You're insane, Freeman," she mutters, but her eyes spark with admiration. Marcus nods, tucking the drive away. This isn't just about saving Isabella. It's about tearing down a system that buries talent like his under prejudice. He leans close to Isabella, whispering, "We're gonna flip this hospital upside down. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. This alliance is about to change everything." Smash that subscribe button if you're rooting for Marcus and Isabella, because the truth is coming, and it's gonna hit hard. The Chicago skyline glitters beyond the windows of Marcus Freeman's 800-square-foot apartment in Humboldt Park. But inside, it's all business. Dr. Marcus Freeman, the 28-year-old neurologist with a Harvard pedigree and Southside roots, hunches over his dining table, now a command center littered with charts, scans, and a glowing laptop. His 6'2" frame is tense, his eyes sharp as he pieces together a plan to save Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress trapped in a coma at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Marcus was kicked off her case, replaced by Dr. Leonard Brooks, a 60-year-old hack writing the Thorntons' $5 million donation. But Marcus isn't out. He's all in, and he's playing to win. His worn notebook, crammed with data, Isabella's eye twitches. Heart rate spikes from 70 to 78 beats per minute. Sits open, a testament to what Brooks ignored. Marcus clicks through a video on his laptop. Isabella's hand squeezing his, proof she's conscious, recorded during his 2 a.m. visit. He dials Dr. Samuel Carter, his 65-year-old Harvard mentor, whose voice crackles through the speaker. "You've got enough to bury Brooks," Carter says, "but the Thorntons are untouchable. You need a bigger stage." Marcus nods, his jaw tight. "That's why I'm going nuclear." He's already reached out to Jessica Harper, a 35-year-old investigative reporter from the Chicago Tribune, known for exposing corruption in high places. Jessica's email pings, "Send me everything. This is huge." Marcus compiles the evidence. Isabella scans from Leland Gwynn, the nurse who risked her job to help. Time-stamped notes of Brooks' negligence. Even financial records hinting Margaret Thornton's push for surgery might tie to controlling Isabella's $2 billion inheritance. It's a powder keg, and Marcus is lighting the fuse. He meets Lila in a dimly lit hospital parking garage, her hoodie up as she hands over another thumb drive. "Brooks is scheduling the surgery for Friday," she whispers. "You've got 48 hours. Marcus grips the drive, his voice low. "That's all I need." Back home, he emails Jessica a 10-gigabyte file labeled Thornton Truth. This isn't just about saving Isabella. It's about exposing a hospital system that lets wealth and prejudice trump talent. Marcus, the kid who fought from Chicago's toughest streets to Harvard's hallowed halls, is done being underestimated. He's building a case that'll hit like a freight train, and the Thorntons won't know what's coming. Hold on tight, because Marcus is about to drop a bombshell that'll rock Chicago. Hit that like button if you're ready for the takedown, and don't miss what's next. This is gonna be epic. The auditorium at Northwestern Memorial Hospital buzzes with tension. Its sleek, 500-seat hall packed with doctors, board members, and the Thornton family's elite entourage. It's 9 a.m., and Dr. Leonard Brooks, the 60-year-old neurologist with a $200 tie and a crumbling reputation, stands at the podium, pitching a dangerous surgery for Isabella Thornton. The 26-year-old heiress, trapped in a coma for 5 months, is just 3 miles away in her $10,000 hospital bed. Margaret Thornton, 62, her cashmere coat draped over her chair, nods approvingly, her $5 million donation looming over the room. Ethan Thornton, 40, his Rolex glinting, smirks as Brooks drones on about cortical stimulation that could destroy Isabella's brain. But they don't know a storm is coming. The double doors slam open, and Dr. Marcus Freeman strides in, his 6'2" frame radiating unshakable resolve. The 28-year-old Harvard prodigy from Chicago's South Side isn't alone. Behind him are Dr. Samuel Carter, his 65-year-old mentor whose name echoes in medical circles, Jessica Harper, the 35-year-old Chicago Tribune reporter with a camera crew, and a stern woman in a sharp suit, Dr. Patricia Reed from the Illinois Medical Board. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Margaret's face freezes. Ethan bolts upright, snarling, "You're off this case, Freeman. Get out." But Marcus doesn't flinch. "Not today," he says, his voice calm but cutting like a blade. "You're about to make a mistake that could kill Isabella Thornton." Marcus steps to the podium, laptop open, projecting his evidence on a 20-foot screen. He plays a video, Isabella's hand squeezing his, proof she's conscious, recorded during his secret 2 a.m. visit. Her heart rate spikes, 70 to 78 beats per minute. Flash on the screen, time-stamped. "She's been awake for weeks," Marcus says, hearing every word, every insult, every plan to cut her open. He reveals scans from Leland Gwynn, the nurse who risked everything, showing Brooks ignored clear signs of recovery. Then the bombshell. Financial records suggesting Margaret pushed the surgery to delay Isabella's $2 billion inheritance, keeping control of Thornton Enterprises. The room erupts. Margaret stammers, "This is outrageous." Brooks' face pales, his $200 tie now a noose. But Marcus isn't done. He cues a live feed from room 512. Isabella, sitting up, eyes blazing, speaks to the camera. "Dr. Freeman saw me when no one else did. My family and Dr. Brooks nearly killed me with their arrogance." The auditorium falls silent, her words a thunderclap. Jessica's camera crew captures every second, Margaret's diamond earrings trembling as she collapses into her seat. Ethan's Rolex stops ticking in the face of his sister's truth. Dr. Reed steps forward, her voice ice cold. "Dr. Brooks, you're suspended pending investigation." "Mrs. Thornton, your financial dealings are under review." Marcus stands tall, his Southside grit and Harvard smarts dismantling a system that doubted him. This isn't just a win, it's a reckoning. You're not gonna believe what happens next. Smash that like button if justice gives you chills, and subscribe, because this takedown is just the beginning. The dust settles in the auditorium of Northwestern Memorial Hospital, but the echoes of truth still reverberate through its 500-seat hall. Dr. Marcus Freeman, the 28-year-old neurologist from Chicago's South Side, stands tall, his 6'2" frame a beacon of victory. Just moments ago, he and Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress awake after a 5-month coma, exposed a web of negligence and prejudice that shook the hospital to its core. The Chicago skyline, 3 miles away, glimmers through the windows, but the real light shines from Marcus' unwavering resolve. His Harvard-trained mind and relentless grit have rewritten the rules. Dr. Leonard Brooks, the 60-year-old doctor who nearly botched Isabella's case, is escorted out by security, his $200 tie crumpled, his medical license suspended indefinitely. The Illinois Medical Board, led by Dr. Patricia Reed, uncovered a trail of his outdated practices. Cases ignored, signs missed, all buried under the Thorntons' $5 million influence. Margaret Thornton, 62, once a queen of Chicago's elite, sits frozen, her cashmere coat no shield against the financial investigation now targeting her. Evidence of her manipulating Isabella's $2 billion inheritance to control Thornton Enterprises has sparked a federal probe, slashing her family's fortune by 30%. Ethan Thornton, 40, his Rolex now a hollow symbol, slips out of the city, dodging headlines and lawsuits. Marcus, meanwhile, steps into a new office overlooking Lake Michigan, promoted to head of neurology at Northwestern. At 28, he's the youngest ever to hold the post, his desk stacked with proposals for his Freeman Protocol, a game-changer for Coma care, built on the signs he spotted in Isabella. The hospital, once a playground for wealth and bias, rolls out new policies. Talent, not connections, now rules. Marcus' team, a diverse crew of doctors chosen for skill alone, is transforming the department into a national model. Across town, in his 800-square-foot apartment, Marcus gets a call from Dr. Samuel Carter, his Harvard mentor.
"You didn't just save a patient, kid," Carter says, voice thick with pride.
"You changed the game." Isabella, now recovering in a rehab suite, visits Marcus with a proposal. A $10 million fund to train doctors from underserved communities, ensuring no one like Marcus is ever dismissed again. The Thorntons' name, once synonymous with power, is now a cautionary tale in Chicago's social circles. Their pediatric wing donation? Returned. Pending ethical reviews. Marcus' victory isn't just personal. It's a seismic shift, proving that truth and talent can topple even the tallest towers of prejudice. This story's far from over. Hit that like button if justice fuels you, and subscribe for what's next, because Marcus and Isabella are just getting started. 6 months later, the Chicago skyline sparkles beyond the 20th floor windows of a sleek downtown office, where Dr. Marcus Freeman stands, his 6'2" frame now a symbol of change. The 28-year-old neurologist, once dismissed as a Southside kid out of his depth, is now head of Northwestern Memorial Hospital's neurology department. His office, overlooking Lake Michigan 3 miles away, is stacked with research papers on his Freeman Protocol, a revolutionary approach to coma care that's saving lives across the country. But Marcus' fight was never just about one patient or one hospital. It was about rewriting a broken system.
And he's not doing it alone.
Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress who woke from a 5-month coma, steps into Marcus' office, her stride confident, a far cry from the $10,000 hospital bed where she once lay trapped. She's no longer just the face of Thornton Enterprises' $2 billion empire. She's a force for change. The camera pans to a framed photo on the wall. Marcus and Isabella at the launch of the Freeman Thornton Foundation, a $10 million initiative to fund medical education for students from underserved communities. "Marcus," Isabella says, her voice steady but warm, "we just got approval for our first scholarship class. 50 students, all from neighborhoods like yours." Marcus smiles, his Harvard-Polish meeting Southside pride.
"This is bigger than us," he replies.
"It's about making sure no one's talent gets buried under prejudice." The foundation isn't just a charity, it's a movement. It's already exposed 3 cases of discrimination in Chicago hospitals, securing $3 million in settlements for wrongfully sidelined doctors. Isabella, now CEO of Thornton Enterprises, has publicly apologized for her family's past arrogance, redirecting $5 million from their disgraced pediatric wing donation to the foundation. Margaret Thornton, 62, lives in seclusion, her name tarnished by federal probes into her financial schemes. Ethan, 40, is overseas, dodging the fallout. Their legacy of wealth and bias is crumbling, while Marcus and Isabella's rises. Marcus walks through Northwestern's halls, now a beacon for diversity, where young doctors from all backgrounds train under his mentorship. His 800-square-foot apartment in Humboldt Park is a distant memory, but he keeps a photo of it on his desk, a reminder of where he started. The Freeman Thornton Foundation is his vow to ensure no one else has to fight as hard as he did. This isn't just a win, it's a legacy that's changing lives, one scholarship, one truth at a time. Stick with us for the final chapter of this incredible story. Hit that like button if you believe in second chances, and subscribe, because Marcus and Isabella are building a future that'll inspire you. The Chicago skyline stretches across the horizon, its lights twinkling 3 miles from Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where Dr. Marcus Freeman stands in his office, a symbol of triumph. The 28-year-old neurologist, once a South Side kid doubted by the elite, now leads the hospital's neurology department, his 6'2" frame a testament to resilience. His Freeman Protocol is saving coma patients nationwide, and the Freeman Thornton Foundation, co-founded with Isabella Thornton, the 26-year-old heiress who woke from a 5-month coma, is transforming lives. Their $10 million fund has already launched 50 scholarships for aspiring doctors from neighborhoods like Marcus' old 800-square-foot apartment in Humboldt Park. This isn't just a story, it's a revolution. Isabella, now CEO of Thornton Enterprises' $2 billion empire, steps beside Marcus, her eyes bright with purpose. Marcus showed me what real strength looks like, she says, her voice clear and strong. He fought for me when no one else did, not because of my family's $5 million donation, but because it was right. Marcus nods, his Harvard polish meeting his Chicago grit. Prejudice tried to bury me, he tells the camera. But talent and truth don't bend. They break barriers. Their foundation isn't just funding education, it's exposing discrimination, securing $3 million in settlements for sideline doctors, and rewriting the rules of a system once ruled by wealth and bias. Here's the lesson. When life slams doors in your face, whether it's doubt, prejudice, or a system stacked against you, don't back down. Be like Marcus. Work harder, learn smarter, and prove your worth with actions, not words. Be like Isabella. Use your voice to lift others, even when it means facing your own mistakes. Success isn't about where you start. It's about refusing to let others define your finish line. In America, from Chicago's toughest streets to its shiniest skyscrapers, that's the dream worth fighting for. This story proves that justice isn't just a word, it's a fire that can change the world. If Marcus and Isabella's fight moved you, smash that like button and share this video to spread their message. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next week, we're diving into another story of an underdog shaking things up. What would you do to stand up to injustice? Drop it in the comments, and let's keep this revolution going.